Time Gate Moments. Welcome. Hi there guys, welcome to the channel. Whether you are new or returning, either way, it is a pleasure. And of course, as always, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to all the Muslims out there, the brothers, the sisters, and what have you. Now in this video, we are going to show you 10 simple, basic observations that are so obvious and straightforward that your instinct and nature will say, wow, that makes a lot of sense. But your multimedia and society colonized mindset will say, what on earth is this guy talking about again? The purpose of this video is a cosmographic and cosmologic reminder to give you an opportunity of some kind of total recall. You know, something you already know within because you see it and experience it every day in your own life. So let's get on with it. The first on the list is the smoke of volcanoes. Now, if this is what is really happening, 1,000 miles per hour spinning, why do we get this? Remember, the eruption of volcanoes is something that is blasted and thrusted into the atmosphere by the forces of nature. And guess what? The smoke remains upright and vertical and is not affected at all by the alleged fictitious and imaginary spinning of the earth of 1,000 miles an hour. This is what our eyes and logic show us. Once again, if this is what is really taking place right over here, then in that case, we should get this. Look at this steam train at just 126 miles an hour. Look at the smoke. In other words, if the earth is really spinning and shifting just like this train over here, it means logically anything blasted from the surface onto the atmosphere should be behaving like this smoke right over here. You see, furthermore, this is at just 126 miles per hour. But pseudo-cosmology would have you to believe that at 1,000 miles an hour spinning, we get this on the surface. Does this even make any sense? Logically, observationally, and experimentally? Now just think about that for a moment. And of course, try to use a little bit of imagination. That's like saying, yesterday I saw Superman, Clark Kent, and he came down and he gave me a lift from A to B. Think about that carefully. Who would really believe that? This stuff over here is no different from the Superman story and fiction, for sure. Now we go to number 2, the rocks and stones balancing spectacle. Now this is one of the miracles of nature and the indicator of the motionlessness of Earth. As you can see clearly, this is one of the great bulges of rocks out there, perfectly balanced and undisturbed on a surface that is allegedly spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Now think about that carefully. This one is somewhere out there in the United States, perhaps in the Idaho area. Here is another example. Why don't you try this for yourself next time on the beach and take the opportunity for a man-made example? Take a look at this one here. Wow, isn't that magnificent? You know, even if you're not a believer, you have got to say, MashaAllah, Eureka, Hallelujah. Hey, Willie, Bob, Jeff, Hank, Ezekiel, Can y'all come over here and take a look at this, will ya? Look at this superhuman daredeviling in mid-air without any proper support system and what have you. Do you really think they would be doing this if they did not know the earth is motionless? The only reason why they dare to do this and even consider doing this is because they know very well, instinctively and subconsciously, that the earth indeed is motionless. How on earth does anyone focus and balance an egg on the tip of a pencil? How? Unless the surface they are using is completely void of motion and transfixed. Next we have number 3, the ether. As you may know, in basic primordial elements we have earth, fire, water and air. Now the ether is considered to be the 5th element, the quintessence, the life force. And you may be asking, so what's your problem, man? So what exactly is your point, mate? You're having a laugh, aren't ya? Did you know the water in my water tastes like iota? You know what I'm saying, governor? He's having a laugh, he is. Blimey. Hey, Barry, hey what? Listen to this mug, mate. He said what, mate? He said something about West Ham are not playing next week, mate. He said what? Trevor, I can't believe he said that, mate. You know what I mean, Terry?
You know what I think, mate? I think we should have a word with him. Don't you think, Paul? No, mate, I don't think it's worth the squabble, mate.
Nothing was said about West Ham. This is strictly about the flat earth cosmography. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, where were we? Yes, the ether. Okay guys, it's time for number 4. And by the way, once again, there are no surprises here. No one is going to creep out from behind the bushes and say, boo! This is once again straightforward to the point. In fact, you are going to say, duh, we knew that. Do you have anything else? Anyway, let's take a look at 1 or 2 short videos in order to substantiate the point. Go on, Talha. One time. Work that thing. Pow!
Vai lá, irmão. Vai lá, acelera aí. O outro tá aqui atrás. O outro tá aqui atrás.
Coitado, ele vai se perder do outro.
Bora. Cadê o careca terrorista? Careca terrorista é meu ovo, rapaz.
Ai, não dá pra você, amigo.
Bora, moto 1000 cilindrada. Cadê?
Para, Luciano.
Para, velho.
Ai, deixa ele embora, vai. Ele tá se perdendo do outro. Será que dá pra ver? Para, Lu, é sério, para. Tá bom, tá bom, tá bom. Para, Lu, olha o pneu do cara, Luciano. Para, sério, ele vai cair. Para de ser ridículo.
Vou até um pedágio aí,
Não,
tá?
não.
Okay, the purpose of showing you these clips is to show you something that you already know, perhaps from a different perspective. One thing in particular we would like to highlight at this point is that all the different types of transport in these videos are all operating with speeds under 1000 miles an hour. The point is this, and logic will confirm this. No matter how smooth the ride is, or how technologically advanced the platform, the wagon, or the surface is, the greater the speed or velocity, the more it becomes apparent that you are traveling and shifting at speeds. If you were this coin, for example, no matter what anybody tells you, you would know for certain that you are traveling at great speeds, regardless of how smooth the train is, especially if it's traveling or spinning at 1000 miles an hour. Then how comes on an earth that is allegedly spinning at 1000 miles an hour, you neither see or feel the slightest motion? Not a flicker. Nothing. Nada. And please, 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 don't give us that gravity mambo jumbo, that cloak and dagger, modern day astronomy fandango, laced up with a little bit of poisonous mango. Allah, the Creator, tells us in the noble Quran, and the earth He laid to rest for those that require sleep, 55:10. And of course, that includes us, the human beings. Now we head to number 5, the real stars. Ah, man, is this one going to surprise you? Here is the star Procyon, A and B. And it doesn't really matter which one you choose, because allegedly we are being told one is as big as the earth and the other one is even bigger than the sun. Wow! Now in terms of distance, we are being told that Procyon is 11.5 light years away. Damn and a half. Guys, isn't that the biggest fart bomb ever blasted right on your face, point blank style? Anyway, let's look at the real thing now with the Nikon Coolpix P900. Here we go. Thanks a lot, Emily. You are a star. Now ask yourself the sincere question, if you dare, does this look like it's 11.5 light years away from Earth? Think about that very carefully. You are looking at something, what, perhaps 500 miles, less or more? And it is definitely, for sure, not as big as this huge Earth you are living on. So there you go. Now you know what the real deal is, you know? Now we are at number 6, cannonballs. Another basic and old school experiment. Simple. So, here's the issue. Why does a cannonball shot straight up come down almost exactly where it was shot from? Well, not exactly, but in most cases, we are talking very, very close, perhaps less than 10 meters. These things are usually 90 degrees facing, but sometimes they can also be blasted straight up vertically. And they do reach a long distance due to the gunpowder projectile fusion mechanism. So, if the Earth is really spinning and wobbling at 1,000 miles an hour, or so they say, then how comes the cannonballs usually drop back to the same area? How comes? You can try the same thing with an egg, or an apple, or a tennis ball, or something slightly heavier, etc. Oh no, not the Coriolis effect thing again. Who on earth farted in the lift this time? Anyway, what is the Coriolis effect? In physics, the Coriolis effect is an inertial. Make sure you check that word out in the dictionary. Or fictitious force. And of course, we all know what fictitious means. A fictitious force that acts on objects in motion within a frame of reference that rotates, etc., etc., etc. In other words, this is an irrelevant way of explaining something that is not really there, just like the spinning Earth of 1,000 miles an hour. Will 7 please come to desk 7? Next, we have motion of the sun. This one is one of the most basic and straightforward realities. You are going to see it with your own eyes, so let's go. Now check this out. If somebody asked you, which is moving, the Earth or the airplane, what would you reply? Of course, the airplane, right? Just like the airplane, the sun moves and shifts above the stationary Earth. The only difference is that the sun has been time-lapsed. Running at number 8, we have the United Nations flag, the beautiful blue and all-inclusive Earth flag. So, what is so peculiar or distinct about this flag? This is the only flag in the whole world which contains all the nations, countries and continents as part of its emblem.
Oi, Governor, hold your horses. There's only one thing missing, mate.
What's that, Barry?
Can't you see it? It's right there in front of your eyes. Are you thick? What's the matter with you, mate?
Sorry, Barry, I can't see it, mate.
Dave, listen, mate. Are you having a laugh? Are you trying to rub it in, mate?
No, Barry, I swear on my dog's life, mate, I still can't see it, mate.
Listen, mate, what I'm trying to say is, how comes Antarctica is not on the flag, mate? Oh yeah, Barry, you are right, mate. Wipe that smirk off your face, mate, before I bash it in for ya. Now, Dave, since you're a proper English matey, get the missus to put a kettle on and make us a cuppa.
So guys, as you can see, Barry is correct. If this is the Arctic, where on earth is Antarctica? And wait for it, here's your answer, right there. Let's just say whoever designed this flag or representation knew exactly what they were doing. So now you know, Antarctica has been excluded from the main pictogram or projections of the Earth. This is because Antarctica is not part of the natural Earth scenario. That's why. And in case you didn't know, this is the only map or snapshot anywhere which shows you the entire Earth from space. In other words, this is how our Earth looks like from bird's eye view. Now let's look at number 9. And guys, we are almost approaching the end part of our video. So just hold on. Just hold on. So, what do we have this time coming? Aeronautics. A little bit of history will show you that before there were ever astronauts and pilots, people used to ride balloons, hot air balloons, to ride the skies and go up and up as much as they could. In terms of the shape of the Earth, some of them were really mesmerized as to what they saw and therefore wrote this down, leaving behind some records. Amongst them was James Glaisher, FRS, in his work Travels in the Air. From the Travels in the Air, we quote, "On looking over the top of the car, the horizon appeared to be on a level with the eye, and taking a grand view of the whole visible area beneath, I was struck with its great regularity. All was dwarfed to one plane. It seemed too flat, too even, apparently artificial." And of course, as you would expect, there were other contemporary aeronauts who witnessed the same thing. And at last, we are at number 10. Thanks a lot, guys, for your patience. We have indeed saved the best for last. Pseudo-scientific moon mathemagic. As many of us these days know through research, discovery, and seeking the truth that there are many fake aspects to modern day cosmology and astronomy. We are talking fake, fictitious CGI and skullduggery stuff. So, will our good friend, teacher, and honorable guest, Eric Dubai, explain one of these aspects? Brace yourselves and buckle up. Put your straps really tight because we are on for a serious ride Ready, steady, go!
In the heliocentric model of the cosmos, the moon revolves around the Earth 13 times per year, traveling at 2,288 miles per hour, while the Earth revolves around the Sun once per year, traveling at 67,000 miles per hour. The following model and animation illustrate how this is supposed to occur. As you can see, since the moon is revolving around the Earth, which itself is revolving around the Sun, in order to maintain its regular orbit, the moon would have to be constantly and drastically changing its speed in ways completely unaccounted for by the model. In the outer part of its orbit, the moon would have to speed up 67,000 miles per hour, in addition to its regular speed of 2,288 miles per hour, just to keep up with the Earth. So the moon would then be traveling at 69,288 miles per hour when it reached the front of the Earth. At this point, since the moon is allegedly 240,000 miles away from the Earth would catch up in just 4 hours, so the moon must continue traveling 67,000 miles per hour along Earth's trajectory, while simultaneously continuing its now perpendicular 2,288 mile per hour second trajectory. Then, as it turns to reach the inner part of its orbit, the moon must now slow back down to its original speed, allowing the Earth to pass by. Lastly, as it passes behind the Earth, the moon must once again quickly accelerate back up to nearly 70,000 miles per hour before getting left in the dust. In addition to all of this, the Sun itself is allegedly orbiting the Milky Way galaxy at 448,000 miles per hour, further compounding the problems and calculations of the heliocentric model. If this were true, then the Earth, Moon, and other planets would all have yet another set of ridiculous and impossible corkscrewing accelerations and decelerations necessary just to keep up with the Sun. And for the cherry on top, all of these calculations have been assuming perfectly circular orbits, but the actual heliocentric model claims that the Moon's orbit around the Earth's orbit around the Sun, and the Sun's orbit around the Milky Way are all elliptical, not circular, meaning there would be even more additional accelerations and decelerations to calculate depending where each one is along its elliptical path. These constant and drastic accelerations and decelerations necessitated by the heliocentric model are rarely, if ever, mentioned by globe believers, because they have always been taught that the reason we do not feel or experience any of this supposed motion is because we always travel at a constant velocity. In their own model, however, due to their elliptical orbits and revolving around other revolving bodies, the Moon, Sun, Earth, and other planets could not maintain constant velocities, and would instead be regularly accelerating and decelerating. Yet, meanwhile, you can stack a house of cards, make a rock cairn, or play a game of Jenga, all without any of this motion, acceleration, and deceleration ever being felt or experienced.
Thanks a lot, Eric. We owe it to you. That was indeed one of the best we have seen so far. That issue has now been clarified. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of the documentary. You have been superb and brilliant for watching and staying all the way to the end. So well done and congratulations. See you soon again. Take care.